Welcome to Golden Blue, everybody, home of the college football fan. And don't forget about the checklist. Hat check, sunglasses check, Pepsi check, notes check, sources check, and thick skin is a check. And don't forget to sing gear to represent your team and yourself in my background. Send it to P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina, 29657, and get yourself a shout out. On to the next video. Hey, you already know what time it is, so might as well sit down, brace yourself, and buckle up because you are entering the speculation zone. Well, according to Pac-12 fans, 4 words changed the narrative of the Pac-12 losing teams. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Mark Harlan, the Utah athletic director, tweeting a response to what Dennis Dodd said. And what Dennis Dodd said was, Big 12 ready to pounce on 4 corner schools as doubt creeps in about Pac-12's viability. And Mark Harlan answered that with a 4-word tweet. Give me a break. And apparently that changed everything. That means that the Pac-12 is not going to lose any members. That means that Big 12 media outlets have been lying, that Big 12 propaganda is just trying to spread lies to try to destabilize the Pac-12, that everybody that's talking about it is being paid off by the Big 12. I'm being paid off by the Big 12, 365 Sports being paid off by the Big 12, 247 Sports being paid off by the Big 12, CBS Sports paid off by the Big 12, Dennis Dodd paid off by the Big 12, ESPN paid off by the Big 12, because we're all talking about it. We're all paid off by the Big 12, and we're trying to spread lies, and we're trying to destabilize the Pac-12, according to that 4-word tweet. In case you're wondering, these are the teams that we don't have represented for the mini helmets. As you can see, we actually have quite a few big brands that's not represented here at Golden Blue. I do know that Nevada and Cincinnati are on their way as far as mini helmet representation. So get your team represented here on Golden Blue. So I did a live show last night. And the thing that I mentioned is, it is crazy. I have never seen conference realignment make people take things personal and act like big kids. And it happened last night in the live show. People were acting like big kids. They were taking things personal. And it's just getting out of control crazy. So is that what it means? Mark Harlan saying, give me a break. That means no, nobody's interested in the Big 12. All this was propaganda and nothing's going to happen. The Pac-12 is going to survive. Well, I saw in the comments where several people said, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Number one, even if that is true and Utah isn't interested in the Big 12, because apparently that's what that tweet means. Give me a break means that Utah is not interested in the Big 12, but he doesn't speak for everybody involved. I agree with that, but it was taken a step further. Some people were saying, well, hold on, Golden Blue Dude. The athletic director is one of the last people that actually know when something's going to happen. They try to use what's known as plausible deniability, and that's what this tweet was. So I looked into it. I found an article by Deseret News. Here's what they had to say about the situation. University presidents and athletic directors have long utilized a third party in negotiations when hiring personnel and coaches or when making changes in college expansion. That way they could say truly they have had no personal contact, conversations, or talks with a coach, team, or league, but their representatives may have. Plausible deniability. So there is something to it, because it's being said that Mark Harlan, the athletic director of Utah, is the only reliable source. This was a tweet by Greg Hansen. He said, the only true and reliable source yet to surface on the Pac-12's future, Utah Athletic Director Mark Harlan needs just 4 words to disarm the Arizona, he didn't even say Utah, the Arizona to Big 12 narrative. Are you kidding me? Are you free? So Mark Harlan tweeting, give me a break. That changes everything. That means nobody's leaving the Pac-12. The Big 12 was just spreading lies. He's the only reliable source, and there you go. He said, give me a break. That means it's not happening. That is not how it works. Not how it works. That's why I looked at that article, or looked up that article about plausible deniability. And yes, there you go. Plausible deniability. Presidents use this. Athletic directors use this. That way they can say, well, we had no idea about this. We weren't talking to them. We weren't having any conversations. So I had no clue. And that's what that tweet could have been. It could have been establishing plausible deniability. Because, I mean, think about it. We haven't heard anything else from the Pac-12. That is it. One tweet from Mark Harlan, a 4-word tweet, give me a break. That establishes that the Pac-12 is okay and nobody's leaving the Pac-12, even though we haven't heard literally anything else from George Kliavkoff, from any of the other Pac-12 athletic directors, for none of the Pac-12 presidents, nothing. But this one tweet from Mark Harlan saying, give me a break, That means everything. He speaks for everybody, and it says everything that needs to be said. Come on. And I think it's funny that people think that because of that tweet from Utah's athletic director, that he was representing everybody. So apparently, not only was he representing Utah, but he was also representing Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, maybe even Washington State and Oregon State. He was representing everybody and said, give me a break, which means nobody's going to the Big 12. Except that's not true. Number one, he only represents Utah. That's it. He's the Utah athletic director. But number two, I just told you, plausible deniability. And that could be the foundation of plausible deniability. He's like, look at that tweet. I said, give me a break. Meaning I had no idea. I had no conversations. I had no talks. I didn't know what was going on. And we see that this tactic is used not just in conference realignment, but whenever they're hiring coaches, coaches from other teams. Maybe there's a sticky situation to where if it came out that they were actually talking to the coaches, that they could get in trouble, or other players. Remember the transfer portal? There's a bunch of situations that this plausible deniability could be used in. But the situation we're talking about now is conference realignment. And that's absolutely what this tweet can be used for, and probably is being used for. So it's not that teams are for sure leaving the Pac-12 for the Big 12. That's not what I'm saying. That's not a prediction. All I'm saying is that these rumors and speculations going around are going by sources. Listen, Dennis Dodd has been doing this for 25 years. He reported Oklahoma and Texas to the SEC before anybody else. He reported USC and UCLA to the Big Ten before anybody else. He has no dog in this fight. He doesn't have some Big 12 alliance or allegiance to. That's not how it works. He is a reliable source that usually hits the nail on the head. Now, could he be wrong? Absolutely. He could be wrong. But to act like he's in the pocket of the Big 12 and is just trying to spread lies, like that's messed up. He might have a lawsuit right there. That's defamation of character right there if you're going to go that route. So be careful what you say about other people, especially when they've been in the business more than a lot of you have even been alive. So just be careful with that. Dennis Dodd has been a reliable source. Now, could he be wrong? Yes. But at the same time, he has real sources out there that's close to the situation. And he doesn't willy-nilly tweet things out there or send messages out there just to get recognition in tweets. He's already established. He doesn't need recognition. So I think that would be a little bit offensive that people are acting like Dennis Dodd is just trying to stir the pot. He's just in the back pocket of the Big 12, and he's trying to make the Pac-12 sweat. That way the Pac-12 destabilizes. That's not what he's all about. And now what I'm hearing is that the Big 12 is waiting on the results of the Colorado Board of Regents meeting. Now, the other day, I tweeted a message where, I can't remember who said it, but somebody said that the result of the Colorado Board of Regents was a unanimous 13-0 vote in favor of Colorado leaving the Pac-12 for the Big 12. Well, apparently that number is off because there's only 9 members of the Board of Regents. Now, who knows? Maybe that 13-0 was taking into 4 other individuals that were part of the meeting. I don't know. But 13-0 is not the correct number if you're talking just about the Colorado Board of Regents. So we're still waiting on that. And it seems like the Big 12 is definitely interested on the results of that particular board meeting because they had that board meeting specifically to address legal advice on a certain situation and the direction of Colorado athletics in the Pac-12. So they were talking about this particular situation. My question is, why would they be talking about Colorado's situation in the Pac-12 if everybody's just going to stay together? Why would they need to talk about that? Hey, everything's good in the Pac-12. That's our meeting. Have a good day, everybody. No, they're literally talking about what are our options. And they're going to decide whether Colorado stays in the Pac-12 or leaves to the Big 12. So that means there is an option for Colorado to go to the Big 12, which means there has been something to all of these rumors. Now, it could come back and nothing happens. They voted to stay in the Pac-12 and they're staying in the Pac-12. But the option of them going to the Big 12 is most certainly on the table. And Arizona going to the Big 12, that is definitely on the table. Arizona has been probably the biggest voice whenever it comes to showing their displeasure with the direction of the Pac-12. Because the bottom line is all this circles around a bad TV deal. $22 million per team per year is what I'm hearing. And on top of that, Oregon and Washington are wanting unequal revenue share, which means those other teams would take even less. And they're not happy with that. And that's why they're even interested in the Big 12. And yes, these teams have been talking to the Big 12. Now, we'll see if they actually decide to join the Big 12, but they have definitely, certainly been talking to the Big 12. So no, Mark Harlan's tweet of "give me a break" does not disarm Arizona to the Big 12 conversations. Not at all. All it does is it establishes plausible deniability for the athletic director of Utah. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Number 1, do you think Utah stays in the Pac-12 or goes to the Big 12? Can't really go by that tweet, but who knows? Maybe Utah decides they don't want to go to the Big 12. Number 2, do you think Colorado decided in that Board of Regents meeting, hey, it's time to go back to the Big 12 because the Pac-12 is sinking? Or do you think they decided, hey, we're just going to stay in the Pac-12? Number 3, the biggest question, do you think the Pac-12 survives this and nobody leaves the Pac-12? That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.